Do you love garlic? Or better yet, do you love that creamy sweetness that you get with a roasted garlic? Well, stick around because today I'm going to show you how to make an extremely aromatic yet simple roasted garlic sourdough loaf using simple steps and easy to follow directions.
Welcome to Farm Bread. I'm Kate and I make simple, delicious artisan breads here on our little backyard farm. Making bread doesn't need to be complicated. Do not overthink it. Trust your instincts, take some risks, and have fun in the process. And always remember, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
What I love about this loaf is that delicate sweetness you get from the caramelization process. And what's really funny is anytime that I do roast garlic in this house, I actually have to hide it from my daughter because she will devour an entire head of roasted garlic if she can get her hands on it. And what's really neat when you're enjoying the actual garlic loaf is every time you slice another piece off or break another piece off of the loaf, you find a little pocket of happiness, a little pocket of roasted garlic, which is just so delicious. Before we jump in, let me show you what ingredients we need.
For the roasted garlic, you'll need 1 head of fresh garlic. I always try to buy organic if I haven't grown it organically myself. 13 grams of olive oil. And for the dough, you're going to need 50 grams of active bubbly starter. And that means you're going to need to plan ahead a little bit and make sure that you feed your starter in advance so that it's ready to use by the time you make this recipe. You'll need 360 grams of warm water, 480 grams of bread flour, 20 grams of whole wheat flour, and 10 grams of pink Himalayan salt.
Okay, so step 1, let's roast the garlic.
Preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Then cut off the top 1/3 of your garlic head to reveal that inner network of cloves. Place the garlic head on a large square of tin foil and drizzle about 13 grams of olive oil to coat the garlic. Wrap up the garlic head carefully, not to spill the oil, by lifting the corners first. Bake for about 40 to 45 minutes, and when finished, the garlic should be soft and caramelized. I like to roast the garlic earlier in the day, even the day before, depending on my schedule, so work it around your schedule. Now we can move along to the dough recipe. Before we get started, there are a few items from your pantry you'll need. A food scale, a mixing bowl, a dough whisk, a lid or plastic wrap, a proofing basket and a cloth, a cloche, clay baker or a Dutch oven, a lame, and a cooling rack.
Step 2, let's make the dough.
Place a large bowl on your scale and zero it out using grams. Add your active starter and the warm water and mix them together using a whisk. Add the flours and salt and mix everything together as best you can using the whisk. Once it starts coming together as a dough, remove the whisk and finish by hand to make sure you've combined all the ingredients really well. I always like to scrape down the sides of the bowl so that we're not leaving any little bits behind. Cover the dough and let the dough rest for about 30 minutes. Now is a great time to wash your dough whisk so that you don't get little teeny tiny pieces of stuck dried dough inside the corners and edges of your dough whisk. Now that my dough has rested for 30 minutes, we're going to add the roasted garlic. So I'm going to get some of the nice roasted garlic olive oil can actually drip in, and then we're just going to squeeze all this delicious caramelized roasted garlic onto your dough. Get every last bit because it is so good. There we go. And then I'm just going to actually not wash my hands just so that I can have some of this beautiful oil get into the dough as well. And then just pull your dough up as you shape it a little bit into a ball, preparing it for its bulk rise. Now the trick here is you don't want to do this too much because you don't want your garlic to get incorporated fully into the dough. You want to be able to have some chunks of chunks of garlic in your dough. That gives you those nice little pockets of roasted garlic. So there we go. Beautiful. See, you can see how it's still a little chunky, but it's breaking up. So I'm just going to pull the dough over that. You can also see how the dough looks now after resting for 30 minutes. Much different than 30 minutes ago. All right, beautiful. Just going to leave it like that.
Step 3, the bulk rise. This is a great step for those that have lots to do because you get to let the dough sit and rise over 8 to 10 hours. It's bad for impatient people.
So for the bulk rise, cover the bowl either with plastic wrap or a cover, and you're going to let your dough rise until it's about double in size. So room temperatures vary, so this can take anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, and you can do this in the evening so that you let it rise overnight, or early in the morning and let the dough rise throughout the day and then bake it at night. Now remember, seasons will affect this timing as well. So if it's winter time, I usually place my bowl under the stove light to help add a bit of warmth and expedite the process a little bit. Whereas if it's summer, I don't place my bowl on the stove. I'll just leave it on the counter at room temperature only. Now is a good time to feed and replenish your starter for your next loaf.
Now is also a great time to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this recipe. Step 4, the proof.
After the bulk rise, gently pour or pull your dough onto a lightly floured work surface. You're going to shape it according to your proofing basket. Let the dough rest for about 5 to 10 minutes after you shape it on the counter, and then you're going to transfer it to a lightly floured proofing basket, seam side up. Make sure your proofing basket is floured. So I gently pull the dough towards me, push it away to help strengthen the shape. Do this on all sides, and I lift up and put into my proofing basket. Now I'll have some excess flour I gather and then sprinkle on top. Now Cover with the cloth and let it rest until slightly puffy, but not fully double in size. This can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. This is a good time to preheat your oven to 450 degrees with your baking dish inside the oven.
Step 5, the bake.
So our dough has rested for about 45 minutes. As you can see, it's definitely ready. It hasn't risen double in size, but you can tell it's getting puffy and it is ready to bake. Carefully remove the baker from the oven and take off the lid. We're going to gently flip the dough out of the proofing basket and into the clay baker. Next, you're going to use a lame or a razor. Score the top of your bread lengthwise, which is going to help support the ear or the break in the crust. Replace the lid back on the baker and put it in the oven. You're going to bake it on the center rack for about 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes, remove the lid and bake for 30 minutes more.
Step 6, the cool down.
Yay! When the bread is ready, transfer it onto a wire rack for cooling. At this point, your kitchen is going to smell incredible. So I'm going to let my loaf cool now, but stick around to see the final crumb. I typically try to wait at least an hour before I cut in, but sometimes these things just can't wait, so do your best.
Step 7, doot, doot. Eat and enjoy. The best part, right? So now that my loaf has cooled, I've cut into it to show you this beautiful crumb and these delicious pockets of roasted garlic that you can find throughout the loaf. You can see that beautiful roasted garlic, creamy inside these beautiful pockets. So try it out and let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe as always. I so appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next video. Have a great day.